Welcome to the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Analyst. I'm your host, Frank Ray, here with my business partner and good friend, Kevin Bilberry. Hi, Kevin.
Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Dude, it's good. It's good. It's good. I wanted to chat with you because you've launched Jenny Jenny AI, which helps real estate agents, it helps loan officers, it helps everybody. Having an AI assistant field all your calls and direct them in the right place and get the leads sent right to your phone. Killer, killer, killer. But today we want to talk about the loan officer for sale by owner platform of that, which is very, very cool. I don't know if let me back that up. I think a lot of loan officers fantasize about being able to be the guy that can work with a for sale by owner, the guy or gal, right? That can work with a for sale by owner and just, ask the seller, hey man, just, you're going to be getting people, you need to get them pre-approved, man. Like, let me do it for you. I'll just make sure that they get pre-approved.
Yeah.
Ironically, you built your loan officer career on this premise years ago and were extremely successful at it. And it's all come full circle back around to this FSBO thing again. But now with the deployment of, AI and, having AI being able to answer the phones and transmit data, just it's so incredible. Let's start from the beginning. So, give us just a couple of minutes of you getting started in the loan business and finding your way into working with for sale by owners and how that worked out for you.
Yeah, man. So my background was before I was a loan officer, I was in the mortgage business. I worked for I had several jobs in the working for mortgage companies. The last one before I started originating was I was pretty much running the whole back end of the company and of that branch. And I had an LO come into my I would basically came into my office, pretty much had a meltdown on me. She was pretty much in tears, like, "Oh my God, if this doesn't get to the closing table by blah blah blah, 2 o'clock, this agent's never gonna send me another deal." And I'm just like, and she's having a meltdown. I'm like, Deanne, her name was Deanne. Deanne, I can't release them until the underwriter signs off. It was one of those deals, but what I said was, I'm like, Deanne, this woman is bullying you. Like, why are you taking it? Like, you know what? Why don't you just go out and get your own business? Why are you relying on these agents for your business? And man, and she's like, you don't get it. You don't understand. The excitement's in the homes, not the loans. People don't drive around looking for mortgages. People go to where the homes are.
Hmm.
And then the agents are the ones with the homes. And they're the ones, and she, of course I understood that to a point. But but it hit me because, like, right at that time, I had a guy across the street from me was selling his home by owner. He had a FSBO sign out front of his house, and I remember watching on a Saturday. I'm just sitting there and watching all these cars pull up across the street. I don't know, every 30 minutes or so, another car stopped. And around that time is I realized, or I just found out how much loan officers were making on a deal. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the wrong side of this business.
Yeah.
Just one transaction, and it's more than my monthly salary here. But every body that pulled up to one of those signs and pulled a flyer or whatever, I'm like, you know what? That's a paycheck, man. That one person could be what I'm making in a whole month.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of where the idea came from. But that whole thing always stuck with me. The excitement's in the homes, not the loans. And I've used that,
Yeah.
saying from day one. So at the time, I was getting into tech stuff. I actually had a website business I was doing on the side, and I was trying to, I was just really in a fork in the road with I was still in my 20s. I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'd learned web development. I built a website for a local company. I might have made like 6 grand on it, but it's just like, but once you made it, it's done.
Mm.
It wasn't residual income, and it's almost like artwork. You paint something and it's gone. Somebody buys
Right.
it. So, but I got the idea, like, you know what? I wonder if I could build a website that will get me mortgage business that'll just keep paying me. And that's where it all came from. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to build a mortgage site because she's right. People aren't really shopping for mortgages at the point where you really want to get them. You want to get them right when they start their home search.
Yeah.
Oh, so I decided to build a FSBO website. I called it For Sale by Owner Austin with the number four. Had a nice little color
It was called for
scheme.
sale by owner.
Yeah, for sale by owner Austin. Here
Okay.
I'm in Austin, Texas. It was for sale with the number four. I had a nice little logo, nice sign, and I just went to a guy. I had built another website for a local mortgage company, and he had asked me to build his website. And so I went and asked him, I said, hey, man, you've been doing this, you've been producing for a while now. I got this idea. Do you think it'll work? And he's like, man, why wouldn't that work? Right? You're right.
Mm.
People do go to the homes first. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'll just give you the Cliff Note version. We went out, tested it out. And man, right away, I was getting leads, I was getting referrals, and dude, I didn't even know what I was doing. I mean, I knew the back end, I could audit a HUD one, man, but I couldn't talk
Yeah.
about products and, rates and things like that. I had no idea, so what I did was I'm like, I started sending all my activity to him, and we weren't even a month into it. He's like, dude, you got to quit that job and come over here and start producing, start working your loans. I don't have the bandwidth to, you need to learn this because
S-
because
So you did the for sale by owner Austin website, and that's
yeah.
where the leads were being generated from. So how did you market
Well,
that, or what? I don't get it.
yeah, well, but not well. I was getting some leads off the website, and I'll tell you how. But where I was getting most of my activity was from the signs and from the sellers because I was going out and meeting them.
So what
So
were you pitching to at this infancy in your for sale by owner as a loan officer stage? What were you pitching the for sale by owners? What were you giving them at the very beginning with this for
yeah,
sale by owner Austin? What were they getting?
well, I'll tell you the very first one we ever walked into.
Hmm.
I was with this guy. This my he was a branch manager of another. When the company I was working for was another company. I built his website,
Yeah.
and his name was Marshall Sanders. I mean, I think he went on to be a basketball coach, but I remember Marshall's like, yeah, there's some FSBOs around Wells Branch where I live, and that's north part of Austin. So. The first one we walked in, he goes, let's just go talk to these people and see if they're open to your ideas. So I had a sign, I had a website. So basically, my pitch was I'm going to give you a sign, some flyers, marketing materials, and I'm going to put you on my website for additional exposure. And that was my pitch. So we were driving around. The first house we went to was in a cul-de-sac. Always remember that. And there were several cars out front. And I remember as we pulled up, Marshall, it's just the way he talked. He's like, man, he goes, every one of these cars, Kevin, is a potential client,
It is. It was. Yeah.
And so we went in there. It was two women that owned the home. Actually, it was actually one of their rental properties they were trying to sell.
Mm.
And they were, so we just went in there and pretty much they had some people looking around and they talked to us. And so, yeah, so Marshall actually pitched them. He's like, hey, my partner here's we've got this for sale by owner program we're just launching. And we're trying to help people like you and blah, blah, we're going to give you a sign, put you on the website, maybe drive some traffic and assist anybody that needs financing because we're mortgage guys. So I remember they're like, well, how much does it cost? And he's like, well, it's not going to cost you anything. We just want to, chances are the person going to buy your home is probably going to need a mortgage.
Mm.
Oh, she's like, oh, mortgage guy. She goes, can you talk to somebody right now? I'm like, Marshall's like, yeah, why not? So there was a young guy, probably in his late 20s, out by the swimming pool. And long story short, they called him in like, hey, these guys can answer the questions you were just asking me. Because sellers get asked those questions.
Right.
Loan officers should be answering. And basically, it was pretty simple. It's like, yeah, man, I just moved in. I just got this, I got relocated here. I'm renting right now. I'm paying the. So Marshall's like, what are you paying in rent? And he said, he told him, he's like, and so I remember Marshall was
Yeah.
he was a
Well,
whiz.
he's an
He
LO
was like,
guy. He figured that guy out in
yeah,
15 seconds,
yeah,
like
he
if he could
did.
do the deal. Yeah.
Yeah, we brought in some flyers and he just like blah 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 wrote on the back of the flyer and so anyway, long story short, that guy ended up being my very first loan. That guy did buy the
Interesting.
house. He was my very first loan and he had
From a
awesome
FSBO.
credit.
Yeah. FSBO lead. Yeah.
He had awesome credit. And then I was getting and then those ladies were referring me people and I was getting calls off the sign. They let me put the sign out.
So your pitch to them with the sign was, okay, instead of you getting the calls, I'll take the calls because I'm going
Yeah,
to screen them and let you know who's real,
yeah,
who's not. If they're real, throw them over to you. If they're not, then you don't have to worry
right.
about them.
Yes, and they were good with that. They're like, man, that'd be great because yeah, we're wasting a lot of time with people. I said, yeah, I said because you can only use one person.
Mm,
I can use them all, right? I can do loans for everybody that calls. You can only
right.
sell your house to one person.
Mm,
So anyway, again, that guy became my first loan. They referred me several other people. I got some calls, and one thing Marshall noticed, he's like, dude, he goes, I've never seen a brand new loan officer get people with these credit scores. Like all your people are qualifiable. They all have good scores, And and it hit him. He goes, you know why I think that is? He goes, it makes sense because you're getting the home buyer before the agents are. When the agents get them, they're going to send their good credit people to you know,
favorite
their done
favorite
deal
guy.
loan
Yeah.
officer, the ones that
Yeah.
already been working with. They're not going to give it to a rookie. You're going to get the
Yeah.
crap.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I wasn't. I was getting people with good credit scores. And the other thing too, and I talk about this a lot, is the sellers are also really your first opportunity at getting a loan because a lot of those sellers are going to move somewhere. And in the case of these two women, of course, I didn't have any idea about that. But during, I don't know, like a week later or so, they called me like, "Hey, Kevin, by the way, we want to refinance our primary home, and we've also got three other investment properties. Can you look at those too?" So, dude, I probably did, I don't know, probably five loans for those ladies over
Wow.
the couple years just because of knocking on that one door. And I knew I had some at that point. Marshall did too, man. He told me, he's like, man, I've seen LOs come and go, man. He's like, but I can tell right now you're going to be a superstar in this business. And yeah, man. So that's how it started. But it's still the same, man. It's just like the buyers go to where the homes are. I mean, that's what they
Yeah.
do. Uh, and a lot of times on FSBOs, you're going to get them before they get hooked into an agent.
Mm-hmm.
So. And I mentioned this. We had a Zoom on this on Friday, and but I talked a little bit about that. And by the way, if you missed the Zoom, this is sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to hit the record button, so sorry. But this is going to be probably even more detailed, right?
Right.
But yeah, man. Where was I going with that? Oh, the sellers. Yeah, the sellers are moving somewhere. So and they were the first opportunity at doing a loan, man.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
And and also there's not a RESP issue here because you can give a seller whatever you want because you're actually asking for their business. Every seller I talk to, and I would always tell them, now, you know what? What's I get a lot of times you call people like, well, okay, what's the hook? Or what's the catch? There is no
Yeah.
catch. Why is this free? I don't get it. I'm like, it's not free. I'm paying for it.
Mm.
But, I explain to them, I'm a loan officer. I appreciate the buyers. And I just tell them, you know what I would tell them? And by the way, if you're a loan officer wanting to work FSBOs, remember this line. I specialize in private sale transactions. What does that mean?
Uh,
Oh yeah, dude. I would just say most loan officers, when I talk to these sellers, most loan officers rely on agents for their business, right? So the agents do things. I mean, they coordinate things. Did I kind of exaggerate that a little bit? Yeah, maybe. But as a loan officer, you got to make sure home inspections things are getting done when there's no agent in the
yeah.
transaction. A lot of the ones I did weren't, and there weren't agents involved. So I would basically, yeah, tell the sellers that, and they would be like, oh yeah, okay. So we just say, man, anybody that comes through here, just have them call me or refer them to me,
Mm.
take down whatever. And dude, I remember especially on the weekends, because that's when most sellers are having their little open houses, and
Sure.
sometimes I'll send them, but I would have sellers hit me up all the time. Hey, this guy called. Did he call you back? And I'm like, yeah, give me his. And so man, that worked really, really well. My first year as a loan officer, I think I was the number two producer in my company.
Mm.
And I remember I had one LO in that company. Like, what are you doing? Actually, when I first got there, this woman's like, what are you doing for marketing? And I told her, and she's like, oh, that's been done. That doesn't work. Like, whatever. Well, I kicked her butt in the first.
Just annihilator. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally did. And I actually had the attitude because I didn't like agents. I'll just be real honest about that. I mean, because of the job I had before, and I saw that agent loan officer relationship, and I just had a bad taste in my mouth at that time. That eventually changed, but I saw a lot of bullying going on, but but I quickly realized that, yeah, I went into this with the attitude like I'm going to do loans without agents, without working with agents. Now, I did find like very early on that, well, wait a minute, I do need agents, but not in
Mm.
the same way most loan officers do. I get because you get these buyers off these sellers or these signs, and you have to immediately hook them into an agent or you lose them.
Yeah, right.
And I
Because
that
if you don't hook them into an agent you're working
you're
with,
good.
then they'll
Yeah,
wind up with another one who's going to send them
right.
somewhere else. So
I did
I get
about
it. So let me interrupt. So the buyers that come through on the for sale by owner, they're not buying that for sale by owner house, but you're starting a loan app with them. You definitely want to move them over to one of your agent
yeah.
partners as fast as you can. Yeah.
So yeah, so I and as a side effect too that I didn't think about, I was getting agents hitting me up all the time. They were calling on my signs. They were picking up
Mm.
my flyers. What is this? What are you doing? I was getting that a lot. The smart ones got it right away. Some didn't. I had one lady threaten me, "You're practicing real estate without a license. I'm turning you into Trek." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll call Trek." And I called Trek, and they were like, "Pretty good idea. Is it working for you?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, great."
It's like,
I
no,
just never
I'm
did it.
not writing contracts. I'm not
Right.
representing anybody. I'm not doing any
Yeah,
of that. I
I
just,
was very clear about that. I'm not
yeah.
giving people real estate advice. And the main thing they said, just make sure you're not taking if you want to charge these FSBOs for your services, you're free to do that, but it can't be contingent. Can't be,
On the
if it
sale, it can't be
sells,
a
I get
commission.
this.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
you're getting a
Yeah.
commission. And that was the main thing
Yeah.
they wanted to make sure I wasn't doing. Now, of course, I'm not doing that.
Mm.
So yeah, that was but I was getting agents calling a lot, and I actually built my agent referral base that way. Sometimes I'd get a buyer calling a sign or off my website that was already with an agent, and I would talk to them, and then they would want to work with me as a lender, and their agent would push back on that. Well, hey, I had those conversations quite often. Like, yeah, I tried to put, who are you now? What are you doing? Like, how did you get her? I already told her to call my loan officer. I'm like,
Mm.
I'm proactive, man. And I remember telling one agent, this is what I do. I'm like, this is how I got her. And I'll never forget. She's like, well, dang, I wish my loan officer was doing something like this. I'm like,
Mm.
well, you're working with the wrong loan officer if they're not.
Mm.
But again, as a side effect, I became that guy that was referring. If you control the lead and you're the originator of the lead and you control the lead, you're in control, period.
Yeah.
And I always was. I just refer, okay, this is here, take this person. And so the relationship with the agent is totally different when you're the one giving them the buyer and many times the seller. That was another thing I didn't plan on, but a lot of these sellers became my loan clients. And after they were in my pipeline as a loan, I wanted them to sell and move into the next house as soon as possible because I wanted
Right.
my loan done, right?
I could see that happening too because the seller he starts as a for sale by owner and you wind up getting a buyer and you get them pre-approved. Like they're ready to buy your house, but now the seller's like, well, I got to get going somewhere. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Or if they can't, if they're working it, and they're just not turning it, but they found another home that they want to buy before someone bought theirs, right? It's like, man, I got to
yeah,
get this house moved, man. So now you
yeah,
could step in and say, I got an agent that'll get it on the market if you want to get it on, in the MLS. And so now you can refer both buyers and sellers to the
yeah.
agents. Yeah, pretty neat.
Yeah, and it got to the point where I would tell sellers up front, this is how it's going to work. I just say, look, you can only sell it to one person. I might get 20 calls on your property or more. Every house is different. I said, but I would tell them I said, if they're not working with an agent already, just so you know, I'm going to protect everybody. I'm going to I'm going to, introduce them to one of my agents. And just so you understand, just so you're protected, my agents that in my world understand that the person I'm referring came off a property by owner, and that if that person decides to go back and buy that property by owner, that you're not getting a commission. Okay, because and sellers are cool with that. I'm like,
Mm,
all right, if this guy buys your home, you're not going to have to pay the agent that I'm referring to because I'll just explain because if what they're doing, they're home shopping. The next phone number they're going to call is probably a real estate agent sign, and
right.
then that agent's going to hook them in, and then you're going to be forced. So I kind of got in the middle of that. All my agents were cool with it. Um, it didn't happen often to where I referred somebody. I can't think of any time that I referred a buyer to an agent and they spent like 2 months driving them around, and then they went back and bought for sale by
The
owner and got
FSBO.
cut out
Yeah.
of the deal. I don't think that ever happened like that. Eventually, my wife got her license because it was, I just
Started
was
making
getting
too
all
much
this back.
sense. You might as well
Yeah,
be
I'm
the
like,
agent. Yeah.
oh yeah, I had one agent I referred a deal to, and I won't get into all the details, man, but he ended up not being a good partner. I just say that he was a jerk, and matter of fact, they were threatening me on this particular deal, and I remember his assistant's like, "Well, if this doesn't get closed, and or if you don't fix this, whatever it was, it's one of those things out of your control. We're never going to send you another deal." I'm like, "Well, you've never have sent me
You
another
didn't
deal. I've
send me
sent you
this
three
deal.
buyers already."
Yeah.
It's like you came to me, and I've been sending you the buyers. Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? And it really upset me, and and when that deal closed, I remember complaining about that to my wife, and we're looking at the HUD one. It's like, oh my God, he just made 3% on the sales price, and I made like, I don't know, 1.5% on this loan amount, whatever it was.
Mm,
Um, that's when she's like, "Yeah, I got to get my license."
mm.
And she became a listing agent and a buyer agent. So that's how it worked, man. Did very well. My title guy also was, I was kind of ignorant or naive in the beginning. He's like, "Dude, you don't understand. Loan officers do not bring us this amount of purchase business. It doesn't happen. The agents bring us the purchase business.
Mm.
Loan officers are bringing us refis. But man, you got this niche thing going on where you're bringing us all these purchase deals." And so with that, he's like, you're on to something. Have you ever thought about going into San Antonio and Dallas and just making this hiring loan officers and have them work your program? And at the time, like, dude, I don't want to manage loan officers, but what I ended up doing though with that idea is like I kind of franchised my idea. I built a national website and just kind of started selling off territories, which
Yeah. That
which
was
was not,
Homes by Lender, right?
yeah, Homes Final Lender, which wasn't the greatest idea because it was exclusive, so only one person could buy it. Dude, I remember Greg Frost like somehow found about what I was doing, and he goes, "I want you to come on tour with me, and go to," because when he was doing his stops or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Like you're gonna, you go to a town, like once I got one person there, it's done. I can only make one sell there. So it wasn't the best idea. And the other issue too is, you get these loan officers that sign up for this thing, and there was no AI back then. There was no
Right.
Jenny answering the calls. They had to answer the calls, and a lot of them wouldn't. And so if people would want that market, and I'd have to put them on a waiting list. And so if the person bailed because he just like wasn't
Didn't
working
do
the
it.
program at all,
Yeah.
he just wasn't
Didn't
doing
work
it,
it. Yeah.
which is very common,
Yeah. Yeah.
then I'd call anybody else on the waiting list and they'd be like, "Well, why did he quit? Doesn't work?" I'm like,
Right.
it's just like, come on, man. It's just all about this business is all about talking to people, especially people who are doing something in the market.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no better person to me than a FSBO.
Mm.
FSBO seller because they're not hooked with an agent yet. They are talking to people that are doing something. They're talking to buyers
Yeah. Yeah.
and
It
agents.
really
So
is a very, very cool how do I say this? It's a vertical that really does need to be explored by an originator because you're right. You're
yeah,
dealing directly with a seller who more than likely needs a loan anyway. And then you're dealing directly with buyers that, because there's a lot of buyers, Kevin, that, they'll start scouring FSBO websites and looking for sale by owners because you kind of think there might be a better deal in it or something like that. Or you might have more negotiating power if they're not paying a commission or something like that, right? So a lot of people
yeah,
do look at that. And now you're getting leads that are direct to the direct buyer leads. But back then it was a bit of a challenge. You're handwriting a phone number on a lawn sign. You got to answer the calls. Uh, Fast forward, many, many years brings us to today. And you've been working so hard on creating tools for loan officers, et cetera. We had Listing Booster back in the day, which was a spinoff of, or the next evolution of Homes by Lender became Listing Booster. The evolution of that became MoveTube, and now with AI and how easily we can deploy it and you can create with it. You've done an amazing job in creating a platform that not only helps loan officers but helps real estate agents. And voila, here we are back with, oh my gosh, back to where it all started. For sale
yeah,
by owner platform for loan officers that's like off the charts, simplified, never miss a call,
Right.
Seller never misses a call. You know, all calls are screened. They engage with Jenny engages with the client, says, oh, here's the loan officer that knows everything about the property. Doesn't even just here you go. The loan officer
Right.
gets to call. Tell us a little bit about this new product, man, and maybe even show us inside a little. If you're not watching
Yeah.
on YouTube, you should look this podcast up on YouTube because Kevin's going to kind of show you inside here. So
Yeah.
if you're just listening, we'll kind of talk you through it, what's going on. But if you're on YouTube, you're lucky because you're going to see kind of inside. But show us how easy you've made this for a loan officer to engage with a for sale by owner.
Yeah, definitely 100%, man. And I'll say before I do that, I'll just quickly want to mention that, when I was working FSBOs, you didn't have, Zillow wasn't a thing yet. And, I was actually paying we had a classifieds website. So every FSBO, I was actually paying
Ah,
an ad to drive traffic to my site. So I was paying a
yeah.
couple hundred
Why
bucks
not? Yeah.
pretty much on every one of them at least,
Yeah.
we're not counting the signs and stuff. But you don't have to do that now because they can, Zillow accepts FSBOs. You
Mm.
can put it right on there. So wanted to mention that. And also now you don't have to worry about Jenny will handle the calls,
Yeah.
and she screens out all the solicitors that the sellers hate. So the sellers are just going to eat this up. I mean,
Absolutely love it. Yeah.
so yeah, let me
Yeah.
get into the dashboard. So we,
You'll have to ask me permission to share your screen. I'll go ahead
yeah,
and give it to you as soon as you ask me. But yeah, this I'm just so intrigued by this because it's again it's come full circle back around to what you originally were doing and where you had so much success, but now it's put
yeah,
together in such a way that any originator anywhere in the country can plug into this thing and hit the
yeah,
ground running and just start getting for sale by owners interested in the product, and then signing them up, getting a sign in the lawn, giving them marketing materials.
yeah.
I don't want to spoil alert the whole thing, but it just makes the whole thing so easy and so pro. Like
Yeah.
it's
No,
insane.
it's cool, dude. It's so cool. When I'm testing it, I get blown away with it. And it's not me tooting my own horn. I've become what we don't even know what we're called, but I think we're going to be calling ourselves AI masters, just like a webmaster. There's people like us that have gone out there and mastered how to work AI. And
Yeah.
that's what we've done here. And this product was initially, the whole Jenny Jenny idea was based on, well, she was a character we created within MoveTube, but to coach and do all the things she's doing to MoveTube. But she needed her own thing. And
Yeah.
initially it was for agents to take calls on real estate listings, which is still the main purpose of it. But by the way, and don't ask me before we end this the next phase, and I'm going to tell you about that, which is not agent listings or FSBOs, but something else. All
Okay.
right, so yeah, so when you're so the cool thing about this, as a loan officer, you can go to Jenny Jenny AI, and you can. I'm on my dev server here, but you can sign up for free. You can get in there and play with it and test it out without paying a dime. And I've been getting asking about price, how the pricing works. Dude, there's so much flexibility in the pricing. And I'm going to tell you what
Mm.
I would do, but let's get in here. So when you first log in, it's going to take you through a wizard. Jenny's going to pop up to introduce herself. What this, just a quick minute long video. Watch that, and then she's going to ask, "Are you wanting to work agents, FSBOs, or both?" I would recommend just hit both. That way you see both how both work. But for this podcast, we're talking about FSBO. So
Yeah.
once you go to FSBO, she explains that, and this video right here, actually, let's see here. I can,
Looking to work FSBOs?
yeah, let's play this.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
FSBO listings are a total goldmine for future purchase loans and immediate buyer.
Actually, let me pause that real quick.
Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and then click on the bell as well so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. And also, would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think or what you want to see next.
This is Jenny. So if you're listening audio, if you can't see her, by the way, she's very cute. Her name is Jenny. This is Jenny. So this is her voice. This is how she sounds when she answers the phone. So I'll play this. It's about 2 minutes long, just to hear
Yeah,
her
let's hear
out.
it. Let's
Looking
hear
to
it.
work FSBOs? Solid choice. FSBO listings are a total goldmine for future purchase loans and immediate buyer leads, but most loan officers ignore them. By using FSBO Direct, you position yourself as the financing expert before a seller ever even talks to a real estate agent. Think about the long game. You're building a relationship with the private seller right now. By providing them with elite tech to help sell their home, you ensure you're the first person they think of to handle the financing for their next purchase. So yes, that seller's next loan is your first opportunity at winning a loan by working with them. So here is how I help you dominate this untapped market. We use AI-powered signs, flyers, and landing pages to capture buyer inquiries directly. When a potential buyer calls or texts the number on the sign, I handle the intake, provide the property details, and send that lead information straight to you and the seller in real time. It's high-volume lead generation that feeds your pipeline while you sleep. Here's another advantage of working FSBOs that most people completely overlook. Leverage. Think about it. Every listing generates a pool of buyer leads, but only one person can actually buy the property. That leaves you with a gold mine of unattached, active buyers. Since you're the one capturing those leads through me, you can hand deliver them to the agents you want to win over. It's the fastest way to turn a maybe from an agent into a yes. But it gets even better. Statistics show that many FSBOs eventually realize they need a professional listing agent. Because you've already established a relationship as their tech and financing expert, you are in the perfect position to refer that listing to your own network of agents. When you become that loan officer, the one consistently feeding your agents both buyers and high-quality listings, you aren't just another vendor. You are their most essential business partner. This isn't just a theory. This exact method was proven and perfected by our founder during his time as a top-producing mortgage originator. He built this platform to give you that same unfair advantage. Also, because you are working directly with a private seller, you also benefit from zero RESPA friction. You can collaborate freely and provide as much value as you want without the usual professional referral constraints. Plus, we've included shared savings. You or the seller receive a $20 discount on every listing pass. It's time to unlock the market everyone else is overlooking. Click the button below to access your FSBO marketing assets and start building those direct-to-seller relationships today. Now let's get to work.
All right, so that was Jenny.
I think she did a great job.
Yeah, no, she's awesome, man. You know, and the AI is getting even better and better, as you can tell. Like, I mean, she just sounds so real. I mean,
Yeah.
I was playing this for somebody a couple weeks ago. They're like, "That's not a." Oh, actually, it was an agent. It's right next door. I was showing him Jenny. He's like, "That's not a real person." I'm like, "Dude."
Nope.
Yeah. So when you first log in, you're gonna go through the wizard thing, but you do have this FSBO marketing page, and I'm kind of moving some of this stuff around so it's more obvious where it's at. You get your FSBO landing page, and I'll just kind of demo that right in there. Sorry, didn't turn my call off. Phone off. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm in my dev server. Let me see here. See if I can open there we go. All right, that's how it looks live. So yeah, this is your landing page. There's a video on here.
So everyone who's in gets a free account here with Jenny,
Yeah.
right? Puts it, get your profile set up, all that kind of fun stuff, right? And then you go to this FSBO marketing section. There's that little link you just clicked, and now I've got like my own branded website that
Mhm.
I can send to a for sale by owner
Yeah.
that has Jenny that's going to explain everything on it right now, and it's all branded to me. And so
Yep.
if a seller fills out this form, says, "Yeah, I want to get this thing on my listing," then I'm good to go. So does she say something different than we already heard, or
Yeah. She's talking in this case. She's actually talking to the
to the
seller.
seller?
Hi there, I'm Jenny. You might already know my number, 867-5309. It's the only number you will ever need to handle every inquiry for your property. When you're selling or renting your home yourself, a missed call is a missed opportunity. But let's be honest, half of those calls are just agents or solicitors trying to pitch you their services. You're busy juggling your life, and you don't have the time to answer the phone 24/7 just to sift through the spam. But I do. Here's how it works. People call or text my number, give me the address of your property, and I take it from there. I actively screen out the solicitors and agents. For the real buyers and renters, I answer questions about the home, qualify them to make sure they're serious, and even assist in scheduling the showing appointment. I then text them your digital property card with all of the photos and details instantly. And you? You get a call summary, full transcript, and recording of the qualified leads the second I hang up. So don't let the perfect buyer slip to voicemail, and never deal with another solicitation call again. Try the live demo below and see exactly what Jenny Jenny AI can do to make managing your own listing completely stress-free.
That's it. So that's her quick pitch to the seller.
That is killer, dude. And just for those of you that are just listening, not watching, on the video that's playing, she's actually showing the lead cards that get sent to the seller, and then also the property card or property website essentially that gets sent to the prospective buyer. So she's interacting with them, talking to them, sending them information, and she also goes ahead and sends the link to the for the loan officer as well to the prospective buyer. Correct? Is there some
Yeah.
yeah? Can you show us
Yeah.
what
She
that
sends,
page looks like? Or yeah,
yeah, she'll send well, the property card. She sends a text message to the caller or the texter.
yeah,
It got all the information there. And then she'll also mention you as the loan officer. We're tweaking that. She was asking, would you like the loan officer to call you? But we're like, you know what? I don't want to ask.
yeah. Just
Just
send it.
call, right?
There's a
Just
loan
like,
officer. There's a loan officer who
yeah,
knows the property. Here's their
yeah.
contact info. Yeah,
And that's exactly what she says. There's a loan officer already familiar with this listing if you're, if you're going to need financing, and that's it. And then you have the LO has their own little branded landing page just for their mortgage services. It's real basic. It links to um your
your
app.
online app or
Yeah,
whatever.
your online app or pre-qual form.
Yeah,
We
but
don't do that, but
the bottom
yeah,
line is though the loan officer gets the lead card too. So once she's done having the conversation with the prospective buyer, the seller gets the information, transcript, the whole thing, and the loan officer gets the transcript, whole thing. So now you're free to call because there are disclosures everywhere the phone number is, just so you
yeah,
know. If somebody's dialing that phone number, texting it, there's disclosures right at the bottom where it says
yeah,
you call or you text, somebody's calling or texting you, just so you know, right? And that's on
yeah,
all the marketing materials, on the signs that you can buy. And so you're covered there. You're not
yeah.
violating anything, you know? So,
Right. Yeah, and this is a flyer, so you've got a paper flyer, PDF you can download and print if you want to go out and meet sellers.
oh, yeah. So you can just hand it to the seller, knock on the door. Hey, here's what I can do
Yep,
for you. Here's my flyer, you know?
yep,
That is sweet. So if you're not watching, if you're not on YouTube, there's a printout flyer you can print and go visit for sale by owners and hand it off, you know?
yeah, yeah. You can text this landing page to folks. It's made for a phone, real easy. If you're getting, we'll talk about this in a second. If you're getting FSBO leads, if you're doing that, then you get phone numbers. Just text them like, "Hey, I'm a
Yeah.
loan officer." Blah blah blah. And but let's. I was getting some questions on pricing, like how does this work? So there's several options here.
You know, before we go
Yeah,
there, just so there's more clarity for anybody. Okay, Kevin, so I get it. I'm in for free. Set up my profile. I'm ready to go. How do I find a FSBO to approach? Because I know we've got a little relationship going with where they can actually click to go to a company that provides FSBO leads if they want. Or what are some of the other ways? So you can click right on it. It says FSBO leads right down
yeah, right
there,
here.
and that takes you to a company that's called Buy Owner Daily. I don't know what the pricing is there. We're not making any money off these guys or anything,
Yeah, no,
but you can click. I think it's very inexpensive, and you can get FSBO leads sent to you kind of when they're hot off the presses, pretty much every day.
yeah,
Yeah. Beyond this, Kevin, what's another way that they? Because you've done this, you're the master at this. Like, what's the best
yeah,
way to find them?
yeah. I mean, I go far back to newspapers back in the day, and that's what
Yeah,
I was initially doing. I was just going through newspapers and getting
yeah,
them, and we had a classified section with for sale by owners. But one of these companies called me. I think it was at the time they were called Warnock's by owner, and then they changed the land voice. They're all out of Utah for some reason. I don't know why. These so Buy Owner Daily's out of Utah as well, but they're like, hey, we'll just give you a free trial. Just try it out. You might find it's going to make your life easier. And I'm like, well, I'm already getting them out of the paper for free. Well, I'm paying for the paper, but but no, man, it ended up being very valuable because they're finding them from multiple places. And the thing that was really I found was a benefit, a huge benefit actually, was that when you get the phone number from the seller, when you get that email from one of these services like Buy Owner Daily, it means they just put their ad out somewhere. So
Yeah.
whether they put their home on Zillow or what I don't wherever everywhere they're putting them now, you know, buyowner.com or whatever, they just did it. So you're gonna be so if you get that list and call them that day, they normally have a 24-hour turnaround from the time that ad hits somewhere to where they get it and send it to you. You're one of the first ones calling them.
So you're getting them pretty hot off the presses. Yeah.
Right. Like when I was calling out of the newspaper, they might have been running that ad for 4 weeks before I even saw it. You know, they
Right.
might beat up
Right.
by everybody and their mom, you know, but that was a big value for me.
Okay.
Um,
And then of course, so you could probably look at Zillow or anywhere you can find for sale by owners. There's ways to reach out and engage with for sale
yeah.
by owners. But I
Another,
want to,
oh, another, just real quick, another thing I did was all the agents I was working with, I would just tell them write down the numbers because agents are they're out in the field, right? They're driving
hmm.
around. Be a FSBO sign, write down the number, give me the address, and I'll call it.
Yeah, because they're smart because they're thinking, okay, I get Kevin this for sale by owner number. If Kevin lands the for sale by owner, right, for the marketing purposes, again, like you said, only one person can buy that house. There might be 15 buyer leads that comes in that didn't buy that house. Now you can refer those back to the agent and or that agent might pick up the listing too. So it's in the agent's best interest as well if they're one of the agents you work with to cue you in to for sale by owners that they see. So let's keep going. So let's say a seller says yes. What do I have to do as the loan officer at that point? How does this
Yeah.
listing work? What's the next step?
Well, there's several ways to do it. One way you can just send them your sign up page and have them do everything. Or you can add them in your dashboard. So like right here, so I'm in the dashboard here. If you're listening and not watching, basically you have a FSBO listings page. You can click a button that says add listing, and then you just put in the address. So I'm just going to put in place where I used to live in my home in Austin. Assuming it's not on the market, right? Okay, that's where I used to live. So it's looking it up. Property found, bang. All right. So I've already got several
Oh,
fields.
I didn't even
Yep.
know this. So
Yeah.
so basically you hit add listing if you want to do it yourself. Well, first of all, you can send a link to the seller. The seller can go in there and then upload their photos and their descriptions and all that
Yeah.
stuff. They can build their listing for you in their site, in your site,
Yeah.
or you
Or you
can
can,
do it. Yeah, you
yeah,
just
you
put in
can
the
do it.
address and it finds the property and brings in like all the public data on the property,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is pulling because it's not pulling from the MLS. Obviously, these aren't on the MLS.
Right.
It's just pulling whatever public data is kind of sitting out there. You know,
Yeah.
but it gives you a head start. Like
Yeah.
the year built's not going to change. This property was built in 1992. That doesn't change. It's still a three-bedroom,
Mm,
two-bath, whatever.
mm.
It gives you a head start. And there's a little wizard to go through and then upload photos. Now, if you just want to just stop it right here, you can save it. But you put the seller's name first, their name in here, their email, their phone number. You save it, and then I'll back out, and then it looks like this. And then what you do is so you can share it with the seller. So I've got a sample property in here already, but if I want to sell it or share it with the seller, or share with seller right here, share it with seller right here, I click that. Oh, you know what? This is a demo. That's why it's not going to work. But
Right. Yeah.
I'll find. But it actually creates a landing page already pre-filled out to the property and the seller, and all the seller has to do is create their account. They log in, and then you will see
So they
sellers.
can finish it off basically or make some changes if they want and save it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? Let me stop sharing. I actually want you guys to see this. So let me go into a. This is a demo account. Let me find a real one with a real loan officer that has some FSBOs in here, so you guys can kind of see. Uh, so what this looks like. So let's see. Go in here and search somebody I know. All right, I'm gonna go here. Yeah, I want you guys to see this. So let's go to
Yeah,
FSBO.
I
All right,
want to see
start
it. It's
integrating.
so far all of it's just so slick. So what I did, just so you know, because my son, he does residential mortgages. I don't, I'm the private capital commercial hard money guy. But uh we already ordered a sign, a for sale by owner sign, so that we're ready to go. I said, trust me, man, we're just gonna let's just buy one sign. So we're gonna find our seller. We're gonna get this thing deployed. And I said after that, we'll buy as many signs as you
Right.
need.
Yeah.
Because that's
So,
the other thing too. You can buy as a loan officer, buy like 4 or 5 signs. We have a link where you can click to buy the sign. The sale process is super simple. To get the sign, you can order as many as you want. Doesn't take long
yeah.
for them to arrive, and then you're ready. So when you do find a for sale by owner, you're like, I'm ready. I'll come out and drop the sign in tomorrow. Today. You know,
Yeah.
and you can start having Jenny field all your calls. So it's really
100%.
cool.
Yeah. All right. So you hit the share it with seller button right there. You just copy that
That link.
URL, and
Hmm.
then it opens up like this. So it's already kind of pre-done. It's got the seller's name, email, phone number. All they have to do is create an account, and it's got a little preview of their house there. So it's already tying them to the listing. So once they do that, they now have their own account under you. So like under FSBO marketing, I can see I got one linked owner here, and then I can kind of log into there as a co-pilot. We call it
I
co-pilot.
see. So we can
Yeah,
see into their account. So basically, they
yeah,
can create their own account, make changes in their listing. So they want to change the sales price. They want to do
yeah,
something, right? They can make their changes.
yeah.
But you can help them with it as well. If they called you
Right,
and said, "Hey, can you
right.
do it for me?" I don't want to, you just get in there and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got your then you got from there you got the digital property card on the property. You got all that
So
real
nice.
nicely. You got flyers.
Flyer. So
So
they got so when they sign up, when they agree, not only do they get Jenny answering all the calls through the sign writer, but
yep,
inside there's a marketing suite. So they get all kinds of flyers, a digital property card, stuff that they can use to market their listing, right?
yep.
And by the way, guys, stuff that you can use to market their listing. Because why wouldn't you want to market their listing? Every phone call
100%.
that comes through, that's your lead.
Yeah. So
It's just remarkable.
yeah. So you got there's your flyer. It's got the loan officer on the right side, Jenny on the left side, the property for sale by owner. Jenny never discloses who the seller is. So you can tell the seller's that. Like she keeps your confidential. It's confidential who you are. It's up to you to call and tell them who you are. But Jenny doesn't disclose that. And yeah, we've really made some really slick stuff in here, like managing photos. We've got AI. We'll pick the best four, for the flyer. So let's say you got
Oh,
30 photos
cool.
up there. Let's say the seller's log, uploaded 30 pictures. Pick the best four, and it'll auto pick them for you
For
and
the flyers.
the
Yeah.
flyer. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very cool. Oh, and
And you
here's a
got your
sign
signs and
order.
writers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we simplified this. We initially were using something called property codes, but we ended up scrapping that and it's just now one phone number. She just asked for the address, and you use the same number. And if it's Jenny at 8675309, I just kind of, I always have to have a marketing hook. And to me, that's awesome. I don't know many people that don't know Jenny's phone number. Matter of fact, if you've seen some of these YouTube videos, these guys are walking around like
What's
like
Jenny's number?
workplaces.
Yeah.
What's Jenny's phone number? What's Jenny's phone number? Even the young people, a lot of them, there's some like, who's Jenny? But most of them like 8675309.
Yeah.
They know the number,
Yeah. So
So
I
yeah, you can
I see you have for rent in there too. So actually you can go to
yeah.
property management. Uh
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
huge.
and say, hey man, we can do this
Yeah.
because I don't know, some of those people calling to rent might be first time home buyers. They don't even know it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, this works.
Yeah.
This will work real well with because there's a lot of people renting properties right now, like that are doing it by for rent by owner. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And you could actually build it. Outside of doing loans, you could really build a business out of this if you really wanted to. And I could talk about that if you wanted to like make this a profit center.
Yeah.
You can do
Yeah.
that. So yeah, the way this works though is there's a couple of ways to do this. Oh, I missed. Let's see. Let's get back into FSBOs. So if yeah, so you can do upload the property, and then there's one free phone call on the property so the seller can hear how it works. Um, but so you can do it like on demand. You can activate a Jenny listing pass on a property. That's $75 to have Jenny work on behalf of that property and that seller and you for that one property. That gets you 120 call minutes. I mean,
Which is
our
plenty.
overhead,
Yeah.
yeah, if you get 2 hours of calls, You got those are
That's
quite
a
a few.
hot FSBO. Yeah.
Yeah, $79 for like 10 leads, a killer calling off a property is a pretty dang, let's just say
Yeah.
if it was but yeah, you get that's what it is. That's a one-off. It's not monthly. It's just one time. And if it just happens that you just getting tons of calls, you just pay the overages. It's 30, I think it's 35 cents a minute,
Yeah.
which is nothing. I mean, because that's where our hard cost are is in the AI voice.
Right.
It's not just phone minutes, it's AI voice minutes and all the different what I call ingredients we need to make Jenny work. And we have to pay as she's talking, we're getting charged. So,
Yeah.
but we kind of priced it out to where it's good for everybody. That's one way to do it. You can have the seller pay for it. You can just say, hey, look, you get a $20, just pay for it. You can pay for it. You can split it. My personal recommendation, unless you're trying to make money off the product itself outside of mortgages, I wouldn't charge a seller anything if
No,
you're just trying
I'd
to get
cover
the loan.
it. Yeah.
The
I'd cover.
reason why is for a very short period of time in my journey of working FSBOs, it was actually my branch manager. He's like, dude, you should at least charge them something, like, just to cover your sign expense or whatever. Just see if they'll pay you $50. And I started getting them to pay me 50. I had no problem getting $50. But guess what stopped? The
Mhm.
referrals. Because
Yeah.
I was no longer Kevin the
The nice
mortgage guy.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't Kevin the loan officer. I became Kevin the FSBO guy who's selling me a sign for $50. That's kind of the way they looked at it.
Right. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
So another option that we'll talk about just real briefly is AI front desk. And that's for FSBOs. I'm actually going to move that up here. I'm working on this more today, but it does work already. So you get your own front desk number if you do the front desk, and what that means is so like the starter LO FSBO starter is $197 a month, which includes you're getting 600 minutes for that cost for that price point, and you can add as many FSBOs as you want. And the Jenny number still works. You also get your own dedicated number if you want to use that in marketing. Um, and what that'll do is that gives you a business menu, right? In the telecommunications industry, it's called an IVR. It's basically an IVR is press one, press one for this, press two for this, press three for that. So basically, she'll say, she'll answer with, hi, this is Jenny. If you're calling on a listing, a FSBO listing, or calling on a for sale by owner property, press one. If you're calling to sell your home, press two. If you're calling to get qualified for a mortgage, press three. And that's what she does for the FSBO loan officer version. If they press one, then she gets the inventory of all your listings that you have in here. If they press two, she's going to quickly just kind of fill them out. You're looking to sell by owner. So that's a lead for a seller. And then she'll send them a seller questionnaire to fill out and a link to sign up, right?
Mm.
To get in here. And three, it's some basic mortgage questions. We're not doing anything that's going to cause an issue with your compliance department. Pretty much, oh, you're calling for well, this is, she's going to mention the loan officer by name, and then we'll text them a landing page, which actually has your pre-qual form on it that
Mm.
you have to
Mm.
tell us what that is.
Mm.
We're not hosting that. It's your already approved one that you guys use and
Right.
use. In
Yeah.
this. So this is the route I would go. I wouldn't do the one-offs. I mean, if you think you just want to try it out, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do a FSBO here and there. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you really want to make this the the
A,
anchor of your
a
marketing
nice vertical.
your
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, dude, I would
Yeah.
I would do it all day long. 197. Because you think about it, I mean, if you're paying, again, we're talking about getting loans out of this, but hey, if somebody wanted to do this as a business, I mean, 197, and you can charge the sellers whatever you want. $200 a pop, man. You sell two of those,
Yeah.
you've already just doubled your profit. Or maybe you do this. Here's another idea. I just came to my head. You're doing this as a loan officer. It costs me 197 a month. Put as many FSBOs as I want in there. I might just decide to charge one of them. Like, oh yeah, it's going to cost you $200.
Yeah.
Well, pay for the whole month, right? I mean, why not? I mean, there's nothing to prevent you from doing that, right?
That's hilarious. True. You could do
You
that,
can get creative with that. So yeah, man. Any other? Oh, so and as far as signs and stuff, like I said, we mentioned we have a company we recommend. I don't make money from these guys. They're just a good company. They're real down. They're out of
The
Georgia.
signs are killer too.
Yeah, the
The
signs
sign,
are
if you're
off.
not, if for those of you that aren't watching, he's showing the sign order, looking at the signs. I get for
Yeah,
sale by owner is what I would get. It's big and
yeah.
red, and you know
So
that kind
if
of
you buy
thing.
50 of them, they're $10 each, man. Two-sided signs. I mean, $500, you're getting 50 signs. That's not a bad deal.
I'm telling
You
you,
know,
man, LOs could kill it. There's going to be LOs. A lot of LOs are going to think it's intriguing, but not do it. But there's going to be, I think, a good number of LOs that are going to go, holy smoke, this is awesome.
yeah.
Like I
Well, if
can
you're not
do
comfortable with
this.
FSBOs, bring your agents in here. Have Jenny answering all your agent calls, and it works the same way. You get the leads just the same way.
Yeah,
All the
that's
agent
right.
needs is a writer. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So
So essentially, Jenny Jenny AI for loan officers can you can work with realtors and their listings. You can launch Jenny individually on their listings. That's a little different. That does come at a cost. That's $99 a month for you because there's RESPA involved now. So there has to
yeah,
be mutual paying for things, and we've got that all worked out. But there's also the FSBO side for you as well, which doesn't cost anything to join. You can just pay per FSBO that you pick up, or there's the front office that can kind of basically handle your inbound calls for you. Is
yeah.
what she can do, and that's only 197. So different ways. You wanted me to remind you about a next phase. What?
Yeah, so I just did a front desk. So front desk where you got the number, the IVR, press one for this, press two for that. We are all, we just talked about how this works for a FSBO loan officer, but we are doing them for real estate teams and individual real estate agents so that Jenny will answer all their calls on all their business.
Mm,
I was working on one for a guy in Orlando or a company in Orlando, and they're like, we want to go after builders. I've got builders that all around us that are kind of smaller builders. They would just love this. He goes, so can I use the FSBO thing for builders? Because you kind of have to separate, if you're
yeah.
working builders as an agent, you can't say that it's your real estate company because it's just the builder. So I'm like, there's no reason why you can't. But you know what? Just like as we got into it with him, I'm like, dude, that's a great idea. So we're actually working on a builder section. So if you are
Oh,
an
I
agent or
get
a loan
it.
officer and you want
I
to go to
get
a
it.
builder and then get these signs out in front of, home for sale by builder, get those out in front of builders and then builder homes and then have them use that number in the marketing. Now you're eliminating that pain point of having to answer the phones. Jenny handles all the calls on builder homes, and then you, the loan officer, or if you're an agent listening to this, you get the lead as well. So that's what they want. Yeah, they're
Yowza.
really,
That is cool. That
yeah,
is cool.
yeah, man.
Wow.
So that's the next phase of Jenny Jenny. Jenny Jenny, who can I turn to? Well, you can turn to Jenny
Jenny,
Jenny.
Jenny, who can I turn? So you just go to jennyjenny.ai is where you can go, and everything's literally there. But I'm going to put the link in the description wherever you're watching or listening. That'll take you straight to the FSBO part. Again, as a loan officer, you get in for, it doesn't cost you anything to get in. Doesn't cost you a dime till you find a for sale by owner that decides they want to deploy it. And then what is it, 79 or is it 75? What did you say it was?
Yeah, it's 79 if they come through a partner.
Okay.
Like if a seller was just to go to the website, they just happen to be Googling it, find it, they pay 99. But if the
Got it.
LO come on, so you get that. So you give them that perception. There's if you're making them pay for it,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
they get
But so essentially it's $79 to deploy a FSBO. So
yeah,
you get in for free, you find the FSBOs, there's a link here where you can order FSBO leads. There's a link here where you get the signs, you can order the signs. You can start calling on FSBOs. There's links to send to the potential seller explaining exactly how it works. There's flyers if you want to go to the FSBO, knock on the door, and hand it to the seller. Right? You can call the seller and pitch it. So then if they decide to go forward. It's only $79. You go forward. They're going to be marketing the property. They're going to be using the Jenny phone number. Like if they're uploading it to Zillow or uploading it somewhere, or other for sale by owner sites, You tell them just use the Jenny number. That way, if anybody calls, it's screened. You won't, you'll be able to screen all
Oh
those
yeah,
realtor calls, and then you're going to get all those leads on all of
I
everyone.
know.
So it's like it's absolutely brilliant, man. Thanks, Kevin. I think we should probably get out of here unless you got a
Yeah,
parting word. But
yeah. No, I'm good, man. I just we're real excited about this. I like to be a difference maker. Everything I did helped me be differentiate myself in the market, and that's what we're trying to do for all you guys, man.
yeah,
Just with this
yeah,
technology, and we're in that window right now where you can just do so much with, you know, just
take advantage of
not
it.
ev- not
Yep.
everybody's embraced AI yet, so you can really blow anybody away with this.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Uh,
so many people that, for sale by owners out there that would love an AI agent answering all the calls, and not just that, but getting the marketing materials that they can help to market with. Not just that, getting those lead cards, sending the potential buyer a property website to their phone about the listing. It's just this is a big deal. This is a big deal right here, right now. You should take advantage of it. So
yep.
all right, brother. Well, thanks so
All
much,
right, man.
man. We're going to go
Yeah.
ahead and get out of here. And thanks for joining us. I know this is a longer podcast, but this one deserved the time. I think it deserved the time to understand how it all came about, how you started with it, how successful working for sale by owners were for you, how successful they can be for others. And now with this tool, I mean, how easy it is to find, deploy, and reap the benefit of working with for sale by owners as an originator, and the benefits it brings to your realtor partners as well. It's nutty. It's absolutely nutty. So it doesn't cost you anything to get in. Launch
Yeah.
per FSBO, and then once you feel like this is great, then you can upgrade to front office. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
go from there. So, all right, man. Good stuff. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, man.
All right, for the rest of you, thanks for tuning in. Join us again here next time on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We'll see you. Bye bye.